Both Finland and Sweden are moving toward membership into NATO. Finland's prime minister said yesterday, quote, "Everything has changed when Russia attacked Ukraine." The Swedish government has maintained a diplomatically neutral position for 73 years. While several member states of the alliance have expressed support, Turkish President Erdogan is accusing both Nordic nations of harboring Kurdish terrorist organizations and is signaling opposition. I want to bring in retired General Peter Zwack. He served in Moscow from 2012 to 2014 as the U.S. senior defense official and attaché to the Russian Federation. He is also the author of Swimming the Volga and a global fellow for the Wilson Center. Thank you so much, General, for joining us. What might Sweden and Finland bring to NATO?
First of all, both are serious, not just European, but global citizens. They participate in almost all levels of international fora, and they are core members of the European Union and NATO, members of NATO's Partnership for Peace, which allowed them to have a link and to have interoperability with NATO. The Finns and Swedes, and I've worked with them in Afghanistan and in the Balkans, are serious militaries. They are peace-loving nations. I need to emphasize that. But what Russia has done, Russia has really earned Sweden and Finland joining. If you just look at that map, they want to be part of a defensive alliance that's real, especially after Russia's aggression in Ukraine. If you look at that map and you see the water, that is the Gulf of Finland and the Baltic Sea. Those three small NATO nations, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, if they come into the alliance, their flank is finally protected and covered by their bigger Finnish and Swedish allies. It is a big move. Again, also Russia. Yes, there is an 800-mile border with Finland and Russia. The Finns want no fight with Russia, but they're tough. They've got moxie. The Russians know it, and it will be defensive. The Russians should just leave it alone, and cease with the destabilizing rhetoric regarding nuclear weapons.
Do you see NATO as more of a military or a diplomatic organization?
It is both. It is a political organization, clearly. There are major summits and that bring everybody together. And it is political or diplomatic because it is of 30 nations. And any major decision needs consensus from all 30 nations, including the United States of America. The Russians will say, the NATO is a proxy for the United Nations, for the United States. No, our vote is the same as the vote of Italy or Belgium and Turkey, by the way. So it is a diplomatic, but it is also a real military organization, and the Russians know this. Nobody wants to fight Russia, but they are going to band together in the face of threat and intimidation.
What kind of a response could we see from Russia if Sweden and Finland's membership is accepted?
Again, I will state this, and it'll reveal, if you will, the core aspects of its narrative and its psyche. They will bluster, they will threaten, they will intimidate, and they have already threatened or inferred everything from basic military to nuclear weapons, which is crazy talk. No, again, And also, they will take every economic lever they can. You've already read about, the gas and oil. The Finns will figure out a way, but the Russians should accept that they brought this on.
Recent British intelligence claims that Russia has lost a third of their forces in its assault on Ukraine. NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg is saying Ukraine can win this war. What might a victory look like?
That's still to be determined. The Ukrainians have, and I think for many, unbelievably, not badly defeated the Russians near Kyiv, seemingly against all odds in the early weeks of the conflict, the war. Now they have rounded on the Russians at Kharkiv, Russia's the second largest city of Ukraine, just an hour drive from the Russian border. They're winning there, and now in the Donbass, eastern Ukraine, they are fighting off major Russian attacks. And the Russians are going to continue, but they're withering, it seems. They're melting, and the Russian troops don't want to be there because they know the cause isn't righteous. And then in the south, you've got that. The Ukrainians are holding, and then you have epic Mariupol. That's Ukraine's Alamo, that after 6 weeks of siege is still hanging in there. Russia has committed all of its active duty forces, and you talk about the 30%. And now is in the quandary, do they call up their reserves, which are not all that well trained, and would put enormous pressure on the Putin regime, and that's the last point.
Retired Brigadier General Peter Zwack, thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you for having me.